Okay, so in the last video we learned how to integrate Allegro into Visual Studio, and we got that all working, and we displayed an error message, just a simple error message. Um, and now what we're going to do is actually get one step closer to presenting stimuli to a participant, and that is we're going to learn how to draw primitives. So a primitive in Allegro is just like a circle, a square, rectangle, and so on. There's also, you can draw lines and curvy lines, and called splines, and all kinds of fun stuff you can do. But for right now, we're just going to draw a circle. Okay, and so we do that, well, first, before we get there, I do not want to continue showing this error message here. So, and I also don't want to erase it yet because I might want to, in the near future, actually have an error message for participants or what have you. So I'm going to leave that in there for now and just comment it out so that the compiler starts ignoring it. And of course, the easiest way to do that, if it's just one line, is two forward slashes, and you can see there that the color of the text instantly changes. What color it changes to is going to depend on what your settings are in Visual Studio, but I have mine set to, I think, something called like dim display or dark display, so that I get the black background and then the lighter text on top of a black background. And so mine turns to green. Now, I like that setting just because it's easier on the eyes when you have to do this for a few hours at a time. But you can have your set, the default is not this setting. The default is a white background and black text and then other colors of text imposed on the white background. So anyway, yours might not have changed to green, but it will have changed color. And that just tells you that this is now a comment. The compiler is going to ignore anything that's in this shade, whatever the shade is on your display. On mine, it's this green. All right. So now in Allegro, like I said, primitives are just basic, really basic shapes. And the primitives are an add-on to Allegro. So just like the native message box was an add-on. And so what that means is we're going to need to include another header file. So I'm going to have to pound include. Here we go. And then the header file here is in Allegro 5 again. And Allegro underscore primitives.h. Okay, and we also, like last time, let me put in a space here between that and the main function so that we maintain a little bit of readability in our code. Now, and also just like last time, I'm going to have to go over here to the solution here, starter, right-click, and go to properties. And now mine, I just realized because I just did a take that I had to trash. This one is going to already be set, but I'll show you how to set it anyway. So we have to go to the settings and back to Allegro 5 and the add-ons. And you can see here that mine primitive add-ons says yes, but yours will say no if you haven't done this yet. Let me just, so you're going to use this drop-down menu here and change yours from, yours would actually be blank. Change it from blank to yes, and then click apply and OK. And that tells Visual Studio that you are using the primitives add-on. Okay. And let's see, the other difference between the primitives add-on and the native dialog add-on, the native dialog add-on does not need to be initialized. And the reason for that is that they, the makers of Allegro, created it so that you could display error messages if Allegro failed to initialize, right? So if Allegro fails, you can still use Allegro to display an error message. So they made it so that it didn't need an initialization. But all the other add-ons, as far as I know, all of them, require their own initialization. And so for the primitives add-on, that initialization is like this, all underscore, and that all, I pronounce it all because it's easier to say, but it's just all underscore init underscore primitives underscore add on, open and closed paren, and of course this is one of those lines that needs a semicolon at the end. All right, so that will initialize the primitives add-on for Allegro. And let's see, we're still going to create the display, and now we're actually ready to draw a circle. So we're going to draw that. I'll put it right under the commented native message box function. And the code here is all underscore draw underscore filled underscore circle. and open and close paren, and now we have the parameters that we want to use to draw this circle. And the first two parameters are its position on the x-axis, that's side to side or lengthwise, and the y-axis, that's up and down. And since our display is 800 pixels across and 600 pixels top to bottom or vertically, we want to put it, let's put it right in the middle, so we'll put it halfway. So we're going to center it at 400, 300, and that should put it right in the middle. And then the size, again in pixels, so all of these are in units of pixels. Let's just make it 30 pixels in diameter. Right now, pretty sure that number is diameter. It might be radius, but I'm pretty sure it's diameter. I'm not going to stop to look it up right in the middle of this video. Pretty sure that's the diameter. All right, and then the last parameter that we have to enter, the last argument to this function, is the color. And so color is handled by another Allegro function called al, or all, underscore map underscore RGB. RGB stands for red, green, blue. And then we need open and close parens, and we need the three colors for red, green, and blue, the three intensity values. So intensity values for color in Allegro and in most color software can range from 0 to 255. 0 means none of it, and 255, that's the most intense that the computer is capable of producing. Let's make this a red circle. So for the red parameter, we're going to go 255, and then comma, and then just 0 for green, 0 for blue. And then I did see that because I typed over that other paren, we're actually missing a paren here. So put in that last paren and semicolon. All right, so this is going to draw a filled circle. It's going to put it at 400 on X, 300 on Y. That's going to be what it centers on. And then we're going to make it 30 pixels in diameter, and we're going to make the color red. So 255.00, that's going to be red. Now, that tells Allegro and ultimately tells the compiler we want to draw this circle, but it doesn't tell it where to draw the circle. The older version of Allegro, you actually, the first argument to the draw of any primitive was where you wanted it to draw. The new Allegro doesn't do that. Instead, we have this function, all underscore flip let's see, all underscore flip, sorry, I got to look this up real quick, flip display. I thought that was it, but I wasn't 100%. Flip display, and then open and close paren. And again, this line needs a semicolon at the end. Okay, and so right now what it will do, what we've told it to do, draw the circle and then put that circle on the display. But it will do that, right as of right now, as fast as it can, and then as soon as it can get rid of that circle, it will. So we would basically see a very brief flash, basically one refresh of the screen, and most of us are going to have screens that are refreshing 60 times per second. So it would be on for about 1/60th of a second and then be gone. But I want to see this thing, so I am going to say, for right now, I'll just put in a rest. We'll learn much more, much better ways of timing in the subsequent chapters and videos. But for right now, I'm just going to put in an Allegro rest. So all underscore rest, open close paren. And then in the paren, I have to put now the amount of time that I want it to rest for. I'm saying in the book, just put in 1 second, and for you, that'll be fine on your computer. I'm going to put in 10 seconds, though, because I know that this thing's going to pop up on my other screen that's not getting recorded, and I'm going to have to drag it over here to this screen that is getting recorded. So I'm going to put in 10.0 because this is in units of seconds, and it is a float. So that's telling it to rest for 10 seconds. That'll give me enough time to run over to that other screen and drag the display over here when it actually happens. All right, so I think we're actually ready to run this. Let's go ahead and run it. Yep, and there you go. So there is starter showing me a red circle right in the middle of the screen like I wanted it to. Okay, that is enough for now. And there it goes away because it waited the 10 seconds and now it's done. So, and now we are done.